Radio, Sultan of Oman 90.4 FM is all set to bring you Let's Connect. Let's Connect. A soul-searching program which is about a journey of self-discovery hosted by Rym. 12 noon to 1 p.m. Sunday to Thursday. Send your questions to 90406 or call us at 246-02058. Let's connect here on the Nation Station.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Peace be upon you all and welcome to Let's Connect, your Ramadan radio program. We're excited to be here with you today and in this blessed day, the first day of Ramadan. We wish you all a blessed Ramadan and may this blessed month bring you much goodness, peace of mind, serenity of the heart, and may Allah accept your fasting and acts of worship, rewarding you with abundance. This is your host, Rym Aoudia, excited to welcome you to another season of Let's Connect in this blessed month of Ramadan. In this season of Ramadan 2015, 1436 Hijri calendar, the season of Let's Connect focuses on the world of values, how we can live our honorable human values and Islamic values. Values represent our guiding principles, influencing the attitudes we hold and how we act. Our values influence our personal well-being, connection to Allah, and how we interact with others and the world around us. In this season of Let's Connect, we have with us also Ali Al Farai, who will be joining me during this blessed month of Ramadan. Ali is a motivational speaker and a personal development trainer in areas such as team building and work-life balance. Ali, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Rym. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon you all. And Ramadan Kareem to all of you. May Allah accept our good deeds in this holy month of Ramadan.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. It's great to have you with us, Ali, in this exciting journey of this blessed month of Ramadan. And we tell our dear listeners that we welcome you to connect with us at the number 24602058. That's 24602058. You may also connect with us at our Facebook page 321 Connect. That's the number 3, the number 2, the number 1, and the word connect, CONNECT. This first episode is coming to you at a special light, at a different angle. This first episode, we are dedicating it to the Honorable, beloved Sheikh Khalfan Al Esry, who has recently passed away, and we dearly miss him, and who has impacted many lives in the community and changed lives as well to the better. Sheikh Khalfan Al Esry, we're used to hearing him in the blessed month of Ramadan, connecting with his knowledge, with his wisdom and insights. And this is the first Ramadan where he's not with us, and inshallah in a better place. Last Ramadan, we launched Let's Connect with the Sheikh Khalfan Al Esry, and he took us on an amazing spiritual journey and openly shared with us his knowledge. So, although there is much to say about Sheikh Khalfan, this is the little we can do to remember him in this first episode, and in light of the show focusing on values, to also reflect on the values that we learned from Sheikh Khalfan and how he was an amazing role model to us. So to kick off the show today, Ali Al Farai, you've also had a personal experience with Sheikh Khalfan Al Esry. So let us start by connecting with that and sharing with our listeners and with each other. How was your experience with Sheikh Khalfan?
I'm honored, by the way, on this first episode to talk about Sheikh Khalfan Al Esry. My interaction with him, like the real interaction, was in 2007, although I used to hear about him since year 2000, but the real interaction was when he was delivering a motivational talk in one of the mosques, and it was mainly about setting goals in life, and he talked about many things, and we were just jotting down things that he was telling us to do and what's our goals in life for the next 5 to 10 years. And one of the things that he said, and that got me connected to him, was when he said, if you are willing to quit your job, then he gave us so many points, in which I would point out two. One of them was, if you willing to quit your job, then you need to make sure that you have a running business. And another point was that you should have a salary that will keep you survived for the next 1 year. So I was going through the points that he was talking about, and I said to myself, well, I have none of these. So how am I going to quit my job? But I was trying to reflect on those points, and then I came into the point that, hey, I actually worked in a company for almost 10 years. And if I'm going to quit my job, then I'm going to certainly get a salary that will keep me survived for the next 1 year. 1 year. In fact, more than that. So that was my decision. And I put that on my to-do list that, hey, sometimes during this coming months, I will quit my job.
And he motivated with such practical tips.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was those tips. I mean, without those tips, I wouldn't have done that. And surprise, surprise, I used to do something every morning after Fajr. I used to walk in the beach with my iPods in my ears, and I listened to those motivational talks. And subhanAllah, while I was walking, I noticed a guy with a long beard walking on the beach with iPod on his head.
First time you saw him?
And it was like, well, it wasn't the first time, but it was the first time I'm seeing him on the beach.
Okay.
Doing the same act that I was doing. And sometimes I see him alone, sometimes I see him with his children. And then we started talking to each other. And I started seeing him many times on the beach. And not just that, sometimes when I had some problems or issues with things, I'll call him and he'll say, okay, let's have a meeting tomorrow at the beach. So it was mainly like our meeting room.
Lovely.
An open meeting room. So if I have problem in business or personal, I just talk to him and he helps out. Yeah, and I remember working with him in his company called The Coach. It was mainly about safety, in which I was traveling with him all around Oman, and sometimes I used to even drive his car and he was sitting next to me. But I learned a lot from him. I learned how is the day with a motivational speaker. How is it like? That's what I learned.
How he spends a day.
Yeah, how do you spend a day with a motivational speaker? It was a good experience. And I also remember 3 or 4 months ago, I visited him while he was actually on his bed, and subhanallah, we talked to each other, and he said, "How are you doing, Ali? How is the business and everything?" I said, "Alhamdulillah, I'm doing good." But he felt that I wasn't doing good.
He sensed it.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then he started giving me tips. SubhanAllah, he was sitting there, he was lying on the bed, and it's for us to come and see him and cheer him up. He was the one who's cheering us up. And he gave me this point, and maybe it's good for the listeners to know that if you are into business, you need to make sure that you have 5 sources of income. That's what he said, and he was pointing at his fingers and said that one of them should be something that you like and love doing the most.
A passion.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's your passion. And the rest, something that brings you money. Yeah.
We'll go on a quick break for Adhan, and we'll be back with more.
Our listeners, now it's time for a call to prayers, Adhan al-Dhuhr, according to the local timing of Muscat and its suburbs. Those who reside outside Muscat Governorate have to notice the difference in timing. Radio Sultanate of Oman.
Ramadan, the time of spiritual reflection and worship, a time of patience, humility, self-discipline, and submissiveness to God. During the holy month, Radio Sultanate of Oman 90.4 FM takes you on a journey from spiritual reflection and enlightenment to family entertainment. Join us all day and all night long here on the Nation Station. Radio Sultanate of Oman 90.4 FM is all set to bring you Let's Connect. A soul-searching program which is about a journey of self-discovery, hosted by Rym.
12 noon to 1 p.m., Sunday to Thursday.
Send your questions to 90406 or call us at 246-02058.
Let's connect here on the Nation Station.
Welcome back to Let's Connect, your Ramadan radio program. You can call us in at 246-02058. And we are dedicating this first episode, where the series focuses on values, to the Honorable Sheikh Khalfan Al Esry. May his soul rest in peace. So Ali, before the break, you were sharing how Sheikh Khalfan has an inspirational role in your life, and how you were sharing with us the 5 sources of income as practical tips that he shared with you. So the first one you mentioned, have an income from passion, and what are the other 4?
Anything that brings you money.
Interesting.
It doesn't matter. It's a running business. It's business you do with another person. Yeah, maybe your job. Yeah.
Fascinating. So as long as passion is included there, and then work hard in
and
building
he gave
yourself.
that as number 1.
Amazing. And the beautiful thing about Sheikh Khalfan is that he has truly impacted many lives, and in a way where he would simplify the insights and offer us practical tips. Now, if some of you might not be aware of Sheikh Khalfan Al Esry, he is known as a recognized motivational speaker. He had a huge following among the Omani youth, and his talks and sessions have attracted, mashallah, packed audiences who came and were inspired by the way he conveyed his message. He was a coach on personal leadership and human development. He was a member of the State Council. He contributed regularly Islamic talks and talks on social issues. He was also a board member of various companies in the areas of education, oil and gas, energy, consultancy. He was also a member of the Oman Chamber of Commerce as the VP of the SME committee. And last but not least, there's much to say about Sheikh Khalfan. He was also a man of principles. He practiced and he lived what he preached. So, Ali, from your interaction with Sheikh Khalfan, what are the values that came through to you in your knowing him personally?
Well, if you ask me what are the values, there are a lot, then I cannot count all of them. But I would just say a few of what I remember in him. One of them is tolerance. And when I talk about tolerance, he actually never spoke against any other beliefs or schools of thought. In fact, he always helped in bringing us all together under the name humanity. So
Beautiful,
he was very tolerated. Another value is that he was generous. Generous in sharing knowledge, generous in giving charity, and also generous in providing emotional support to people when they were sad, upset, or had problems with their families. And sometimes I remember one time I was sitting with him in a car, and he actually had a phone call. And there was a person who was having a problem. He was consulting that person through the phone. So he's always connected all the time. It's not just when he's on stage or when he meets people face to face, but even on the phone. He's always there to help. Another value that I found in him was sincerity. He was sincere to people, but mainly he was sincere to God.
Beautiful.
He never done things for people to say that, hey, he did this, he did that, show off. But he was doing it for the sake of Allah, purely. It's the intention that he had. Even when he goes and delivers a talk for people, yes, he was helping people, but it was all for the sake of Allah at the end.
He was authentic in how he lived.
Exactly.
Yes.
And also respect. and this is very, very good to talk about, and something that I noticed in him, and I didn't notice in many of people, is if someone comes to him and shakes hand with him, it doesn't matter if that guy is an adult or a child, and even if he is in a big group, maybe in Malka or somewhere, and if you come and shake his hand, he will look at you, he will smile at you, he'll pay full attention to you regardless of what's happening around you.
He'll acknowledge it.
He'll acknowledge you. And also something that maybe some of his audience noticed in him, that he was humorous.
Very funny, yes.
Yeah. he had this quote that he always said at the beginning, have fun with Khalfan.
Yes.
Yeah, and that what got him connected. And not just he used that as an icebreaker, but there was another icebreaker that he used, his turban, the amama. And he used to make jokes about it and how useful it is. He would say that you could use it to cover your face if you're in a desert, or maybe you can tie it between two trees and use it as a hammock or a swinging bed. And because it's 3 meter long amama.
He understood people's perceptions and made a joke about
and
it to break the ice.
Based on that,
Yes.
he would make jokes. So these are a few of his values. There are a lot, but I cannot count all of them.
Amazing, beautiful. And as you said, even when you mentioned generosity, it's generosity of his time, of his energy, of his knowledge, of wisdom, that whatever he gained, he would openly share with others. We have a call right now. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Ahlan bik. Welcome to the show.
How are you?
Alhamdulillah, Brother Musallam.
Ahlan wa sahlan.
Alhamdulillah. It's an honor to have you with us in the show.
Pleasure.
We are dedicating this in remembrance of Sheikh Khalfan Al Esry, first Ramadan without him, Allah yarhamu. We'd love to know, for you to share, your experience and the values that came through strongly in your interaction with Sheikh Khalfan.
MashaAllah. Alhamdulillah. First of all, thank you very much for having me in your program. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate my brother Ali.
Yes.
Also. It's a really great honor, and I believe Brother Ali remember that in the very first days we knew Sheikh Khalfan rahmatullah alayh. We traveled together. There is no way we can cover everything of what that giant man was. Is a great man. Whatever we're going to talk about him, will still not even, give him a droplet out of sea of his oceans of his kindness and his knowledge and his, mashallah, guidance that he gave us. And Sheikh Khalfan was very known from the first day I met him in 1995 until I lost him after 20 years in 2015. He's always there for not for me and Al-Akh Ali. Yes. He knows Ali also, but he's there for everyone. Exactly. And the thing that Sheikh Khalfan, as I said a lot, that stands out from many other people is that he is not that the knowledge that he has only, but it's how he treats everyone. Everyone got to know Sheikh Khalfan would always automatically think that he was the best friend, the best brother, the best family member, the best to him. And that's how he would treat everybody.
Yes.
I mean, now after his death, whenever I speak to anyone who was close to him, he said he used to call me, Aghla Nas, Habibi, وهكذا. So he was treating everybody as he was the closest person to him. Right. The other thing is that he was so humble. He was so, down to earth. He wouldn't tell anybody no. If you ask him any time, any day, he was so organized. Yet, sometimes he would apologize if he feels that a meeting that he has already set with someone, and it turns out that to a very important issue just rise up, which is more urgent, he would automatically tell that person, can you give me a minute? He will call the other person and apologize if he can postpone the meeting or give it more time, other time, because he feels that this is more urgent issue. And if that person says, no, I cannot, postpone it, I need it now, then he will apologize to this current person. He was putting in his telephone every 15 minutes what he's going to do, and he was going to meet with whom. And he would guide everybody, everyone. If you talk to him about relationships at home, if you talk to him about business, I remember we used to travel, and as soon we arrived to hotel in one of the countries, people would travel hundreds of kilometers to come and see him. And I would go like, Sheikh Khalfan, we are tired. We just arrived. For God's sake, why don't we just have He says, no, I cannot say no to these guys. They're coming from very long distance.
Very considerate.
So it's okay. You go and have a rest. I will meet him. I will meet them. So this is kind of person was Sheikh Khalfan. He would give his life, his time, his effort, his sweat, so that he sees everybody else is successful. There are some people amongst us, when you do something and you are successful, you tend to sometimes shy away from people because you feel that, they will feel envy perhaps, or they will copy and paste what I'm doing.
Negative approach.
That wasn't Sheikh Khalfan. Sheikh Khalfan would want people to be even better than him. That's how he used to be. He used to teach people things that he's trying to do them, but he would tell you that, I have these limitations, but you can do better than me. And he would try to guide everybody, and he would try to tell everybody to keep their goals higher than their thing. And he would always tell you that, you are aiming for the lower goals. Go for higher goals. Why you are aiming just for that and that?
Dream bigger.
I know you can do better. So he would motivate everybody to go beyond what they thought they were capable of doing. So
excellent,
really, I don't know what to say about this man. He's just...
Alhamdulillah. Thank you very much, Brother Musallam. That was very...
sorry.
That was very honoring, and he certainly has left a legacy by reflecting on his character and morals, and truly a man who was sincere to Allah, and that reflected in his interaction. So we thank you very much for being with us today, Brother Musallam.
Thank you.
Barakallahu feek. Shukran. Alhamdulillah. Truly, and Sheikh Khalfan's example is itself a legacy for us to learn from, and for us to aspire to live those values as well. And we have with us, dear listeners, a very, very special guest who's with us here in the studio. And before I tell you who it is, it's a surprise. I'm first of all very, very grateful for her to be here with us today. And thanks to her as well, so much of Sheikh Khalfan's knowledge, wisdom, and insights have been shared with us. And that's the one and only Lakshmi Kotanat. Lakshmi, welcome to the show.
Rym, thank you so much.
Thank you, Lakshmi. Lakshmi, we have a call, so we'll take that call and then we'll go back to you.
Wonderful.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Ramadan Mubarak.
Same to you.
Alhamdulillah.
Am I on air now?
Yes, you're on air. Yes, with you is Rym, and Ali, and Lakshmi is with me. What's your name?
I'm Shaheen.
Shaheen. Go ahead, Shaheen. We're listening.
All right. This is about Mr. Khalfan and a tribute to him that currently the program is giving to him.
Correct.
I happened to be at one of his talks last Ramadan, and he's a wonderful person. And the only way that we, the listeners and the residents of Oman here, could give him is to really imbibe the values that he had been sharing with all of us. And me and my family are a really great fan of his. And I would request Radio Oman to air his talks for the listeners so that the teenagers could listen to his talks and be inspired, because this is what most teenagers, most people in this world are currently lacking in. So the only way that we could definitely give back to Mr. Khalfan what we have got immensely from him is to try and put into practice whatever we have learned from him.
Correct.
And my greetings to him. May Allah give him the best of the Jannat and give lots of support to his family. This is my small tribute, few words to my Mr. Khalfan, Sheikh Khalfan Al Esry. Thank you.
Thank you, Shaheen. That was a beautiful tribute from the heart, and I love the focus that you said. What we can do is actually to live those practically. My dear Lakshmi, you've had a special journey as well with Sheikh Khalfan, and like I said, we're very, very grateful for you being with Sheikh Khalfan every Ramadan and enabling us to connect with his knowledge and wisdom. So we'd love to hear from you about your experience.
Thank you, Rym. I'm honored to be here, and it has been a blessed journey for me throughout these years with Radio Sultanate Oman, starting off a program with him called Dialogue on Islam way back many, many years ago. And then we evolved the way the program evolved with the listeners' participation. He decided to call it Body, Mind and Soul. And again, like your program is called, it's all about connections. And he loved that word connections to the Almighty, to the people, to the body, to the mind and the soul. And I think there were a lot of questions with soul, and he'd always say that is for us to discover in the end. And I think he's reached there, and we're here. But we can definitely learn from everything he's shared with us. As one of our listeners said, that the best part of him was sharing the knowledge. You asked about the values.
Indeed, yes.
And I think one of the most successful aspects or characteristics of Sheikh Khalfan Al Esry was that he could have wisdom for everyone in this world. Islam, he felt, and he said many times, is for the mankind. Yes. It's not for any group of people. And I think that's what was the number one message he conveyed. And that's the platform he created for himself and for the wisdom he shared. And Islam means peace. And that is what he started off with. And to avoid ignorance is the opportunity to read and learn every day. Share that wisdom, learn it from others. And Ali gave us an exact example of that, where he shared it with him while walking on the beach in the mornings. Yes. So there was no time and place for Sheikh Khalfan. It could be anywhere. It could be on the radio, airwaves, it could be in the print, or if you just met him on the corridor. I told you, Rym, also yesterday that there's never been a moment where it was a waste of time with Sheikh Khalfan. It was always wisdom. Now, if I go very, very quickly, I can hardly do any justice because I've spoken to him for years together.
Amazing,
and even the last visit I've had with him while he was still, and we were hoping, and he was hoping too, we will see him back in action, was full of wisdom. But one thing I always remember him and will remember him forever is his gratitude.
Tell us more.
Even in tiredness, even in pain, I saw and I heard him say Alhamdulillah. And I've asked him many times about that.
Beautiful. So always thankful and a grateful mindset.
Yes.
We have a call, Lakshmi, then we'll come back to that. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you. I'm very honored to talk to you on this lovely show with this great message.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. I believe we have with us Melissa.
Yeah, this is Melissa.
Ramadan Mubarak, Melissa.
Ramadan Kareem.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. From all of us here, we welcome you to the show and would love to know your experience with Sheikh Khalfan.
Sorry. My experience is, I didn't have so many experiences talking to him, but every time I talked to this man, my life was forever changed.
Amazing.
That's something that I haven't felt with many people in my life. So you were saying all these wonderful qualities about him, how he was this person of tolerance, how he was this person who had time for everybody. And that's what I felt from the very moment that I talked to him. I was scared to reach out to him the first time because I wasn't yet Muslim and I didn't actually know who this person was. And I'd been given this name by somebody and I said, okay, I have these religious questions, but I'm not sure if I can reach out to this person. The moment I was ready to break through and sent him a text message, my phone rang immediately. It's as if Allah had sent me somebody as a comfort, as a soldier, I don't know what the right word is, but in that time, he came to me and had time for me. Like
so
you were saying, he might have had a million things to do. He might have had a million programs, and he was this important person. I didn't even know that. But in that time when he spoke to me, I was an important person who had questions and was seeking, and that was precedence for him. And subhanAllah, he was one of the people who helped me to be confident enough and happy enough. And I know my voice is breaking up because I'm so emotional about this man and what he did for me. But that was one of the times that I remember, and it was so special. And there were only a few other times that I was needing to reach out to him because I knew his time was so important. And one of the other times was to consult him when I was deciding whom to marry. And would I go to somebody, who would I trust as an older man, as a guidance, as a guiding light? And this person talked to me in such a tender and experienced and, mashallah, amazing way that I felt calm. And I was able to proceed with my life again.
So you made good choices, Melissa.
Like,
you made good choices. Alhamdulillah. I said you made good choices, alhamdulillah.
Yeah. The last time I met him, subhanAllah, was just a few days before he passed away, other than seeing him in lectures. And what was so emotional for me is, like everybody said, again, it was about me. And I came to see him, and I said, well, Sheikh, I'm here to see you. How are you feeling? What's going on with you? And he said, Melissa, and light of the room, or whatever he said, but it was so positive and so uplifting. And that's what he was to me. He was a person who helped lift me up to further and further heights, and to be able to be strong enough to look at possible positive futures. And he didn't talk to me in a way that was about necessarily trying to change me or trying to guide me. That was the best thing about him, was the tolerance. And being somebody from a different culture, a different country, originally from a different religion, to have somebody who doesn't judge you, but just focuses on you and what you're interested in, and brings to light your questions in a self-sort of discovery manner, is amazing, mashallah. There just aren't many people like that out there. And all I can say is that I'm so sad to not have him with us anymore. But I'm so happy for him, alhamdulillah, because if there's anybody that I hope and pray, and inshallah, is in a better place, he's just one of those people. And all I want to do is give more people the opportunity to listen to his lectures. If we could, like the lady said, play more of his short spots or something on the radio, then more people can be blessed by him.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Thank you, Melissa, for sharing. I mean, your experience, you connected with Sheikh Khalfan, and he reached out to you before you became a Muslim. And the point you mentioned of not feeling judged is a beautiful quality, where people felt accepted by him. And that whatever stage you were in your journey, he would openly converse and share and give you that special attention and support.
Exactly. And that's just what people need, is somebody who's willing to reach out to them across their differences. There's so many different ways that we can do that. And you're talking about connecting to values in daily life.
Yes.
So there are a few places we can do that in our lives. We have neighbors. They might not be the same as us. And this is the perfect time to invite them in and to talk to them, and to just be kind, whatever their differences may be. And he showed me that. And at work, that's another place we connect in our daily lives. And there's so many people. You might see somebody sitting alone who doesn't necessarily belong in the group, or who could really benefit from joining. And to reach out and invite them is such a strong value.
Yes.
It was a value of Sheikh Khalfan. It's a value of Islam, and it's a value we should all uphold, because we are not divided. We are united.
True, yes. Thank you so much, Melissa. That was much value in what you have shared as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Ma'as-salama. So, Lakshmi, you were talking about how the value of gratitude came out very strongly with Sheikh Khalfan.
Yes. And I remember speaking to him, the last time I saw him, he actually, and I think what Melissa has said is the source of energy he gave to everybody. And I think he's been a reservoir for all of us, but maybe we do not have access to that reservoir now physically, but the wisdom is there. And I think he's left his legacy with each one of you, each one of us. And the more we share that, I think the reservoir can still be tapped. And speaking about gratitude, he also told me that the last few months where he was taking rest, he felt he actually had the time to look inward, even disconnecting from the technology. It was, thoughts and God and self. And that was a place where we touched upon many, many times in the programs. He would love to end the program with a question, who are you?
Yes.
So I think he had a lot of time to think about that, and he was very grateful for that experience too. And that's where I learned the strength of the gratitude. Not everyone can have that kind of gratitude.
It's
people
moments
complain
of weakness when you're tested.
And he found wisdom and patience there, tremendous patience. He said he'd like to be positive. And she mentioned that when she walked in, he had some beautiful word to say. I think he found something beautiful for everybody because he felt he wanted to give that positivity. We carry a lot of negative energy sometimes. And as he mentioned in the programs, we're never born with negative thoughts. We're born healthy and positive and, with
Excited,
eagerness and excitement and beautiful light around us. And then it's just maybe life experiences and our own thought process probably that creates the negativity. But if a person can, and with an individual effort, make someone else positive, he did it. And I could see the results in many occasions. He would come into the studio here and there would be non-stop calls during holy month of Ramadan. And it would be for counseling problems. And I used to ask him, Sheikh Khalfan, why is that everyone have these questions this month particularly? And he had an answer with lots of patience. He said, this is a soul cleansing month. Everyone is going through it. And the 30 days, everyone becomes better and changed if the intentions are all pure. And I think that's what I want to say. And as I said, the intentions, and there are, as she mentioned, his lectures, our own programs are on the website. There are videos of his, and I think people should take time, as he has always suggested, reading, and especially this month of Ramadan. And when he talked about the 30 days, it was also the days for people to change and keep that change. And as he mentioned, Eid was the graduation.
And then you sustain it as a
sustain
lifestyle.
it, yes, because we don't just give up our diplomas and degrees, do we?
Exactly.
We cash in on it.
Exactly. We implement it practically, the
yes.
knowledge. Beautiful. So Lakshmi, I mean, mashallah, because you have been connected as well to his wealth of knowledge and wisdom, so we also put the responsibility on you to share it as well, to continue sharing it with others.
Thank you. Yes, I do.
Yes.
I do feel the responsibility, because sometimes people approach me and that's what they have to say. And I thought, my God, I think I personally took him for granted, because he was doing all this reading and I was benefiting from it every year after year, or any time I spend even few seconds with him. I think a lot of us benefited on that, that there was one person reading and sharing.
That's what he always did, he reads and then he just shares with us.
Correct, I remember, I don't know if you remember his theory on first, which he had read, and he would love to share it. F is for focus. Focus on one thing that you want to change in life, and that's something very good to share now in this holy month of Ramadan 2015. Maybe he's not with us, but as I said, his wisdom, his message is there, and I'd love to share this. For example, it could be time management. He was a great champion on time management. I could never reach his level. Organizing or smoking, overeating, excess of sleep, lying, whatever it is, he said, focus on that one behavior that you want to change. These are his exact words. Ask, what do I need to do to change that habit? I is for the implementing. Implement whatever you want to change. So we got first, F and focus. I. We got R. R is for reflecting on the observation. Reflect on how successful you have been, and remember you have to win an hour by hour, a day by day to be successful.
Lovely.
S is for seeking. Seek support. You seek help. You seek feedback from people whom you trust. And many of us, I'm sure, did that with him.
Yes.
T is if you trust further, you go on to learn to the next stage. Now you transfer to the next stage. To sustain, we say, choose one thing, change it, and stick with it.
Amazing. So to be first, implement the first.
Yes.
And I'd like to point on the element of feedback, which I found amazing as well, but Sheikh Khalfan, is he also asked us for feedback. And I remember being in one of the sessions that he was delivering, and after that he asked me, so how do you think? How did I do? And I was surprised. I'm like, oh, you're the expert, Sheikh Khalfan. But it's beautiful that he always kept himself open to hearing feedback from different people.
Yes,
so
yes.
that was beautiful. Focus, implement, reflect, seek, and
Trust.
transform.
Yeah. And change one habit at a time. And I
Yes.
think, as he said, the 21 days is what to change. And then you can make it a habit.
Correct, yes.
And
Alhamdulillah.
stick with the
And
habits.
as we are on the first day of Ramadan, this is an amazing opportunity to do so and to sustain it beyond. Now, Ali, if you can share with us more about your experience in Sheikh Khalfan's final days.
I remember just 3 days before his death, I went with my wife to visit him, and he was in his bed, and there were many guests around, and when he saw me and when I met him, I was like my last hug to him, and I kissed his forehead, and then he started talking and telling good things, praising me in front of people, saying all the good things. Ali is this, Ali is that, and he kept saying good things about it. And when my wife came in, he started praising her too. And I remember this one sentence that he said, I can't even forget it. He told my wife that, for the first time, I'm going to become a grandfather.
Yes, I remember that too.
Yeah, that touched my heart.
Yeah.
On that point, Ali, we have a call. We'll come back to that. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. We missed the call. We'll come back to it later. Go ahead, Ali. Yes.
Yeah, so that's it. I mean, that was the last thing he said, and then we just left. So that was the last time I saw his face.
It would be a very good idea if people could actually practice that, look at a person and think of the good quality they have. A lot of times we appreciate, but we don't let people know. We don't give that
We
feedback.
don't share it.
We don't share it.
Yes, yes.
And people, it's like a tonic.
And we have the call again. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Good morning, good morning. We have with us Helen, correct?
This is Helen speaking. Helen Sayers.
Helen Sayers, wonderful to have you with us in Let's Connect. We welcome you all. With me is Ali and Lakshmi.
Hello, Helen.
Hi, Helen.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Thank
Helen.
you very much for giving me this opportunity to just say a few words about our beloved Sheikh Khalfan.
It's an honor, yes. Would love to hear from you, Helen. Go ahead.
Yes. The few times that I met him, and once I went to hear a wonderful talk. It was actually at the Grand Mosque one evening, and he had come back after, some of his earlier treatment, and was so inspiring. He spoke through all of his pain and suffering to inspire people to take responsibility for their lives and their health. And the few times that I spoke to him in person, I found him a person of great integrity, someone who had the confidence in himself to make a change in the world, which I believe he has done, to make a change in youth, the young people of the nation. But alongside that confidence that he had was this deep humility. Anyone could speak to him and not feel overawed or overwhelmed by his presence, because he was open to everyone. He was very genuine and very gentle and had this humility. And I think those qualities will stay with me and inspire me for a long, long time in my life.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Helen. And that shows the impact that just by starting with ourselves and living our values, that itself inspires change around us.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Helen. Thank you for your contribution.
Pleasure.
Thank you. And another point as well, that as Helen mentioned, he focused a lot on youth and believed greatly in the youth. And maybe at times where people look down upon youth, as you said, Lakshmi, he was able to see them and see the goodness in them, to see
He
the
saw
potential.
them as the future leaders.
Correct.
And he respected them in great deal. And he felt, and the youth, and also others who are already at the workplaces, he felt need to give them skills and training skills. And I think he never forgot.
That's amazing. Yes, correct. We have a call. Assalamu alaikum.
وعليكم السلام كيف حالك؟
الحمد لله رمضان مبارك.
كيف صحتك؟
الحمد لله. What's your name?
My name is Sam Fernandez.
Sam Fernandez?
Sam Fernandez, yeah.
Sam, welcome to the show.
Yeah, Sam Fernandez. I've been listening to Sheikh Khalfan, talks every year.
Mashallah.
every year. And I was so thrilled the way he used to explain the Quran and the meaning of it. I was so thrilled that one day I thought I will meet him. You know, I'm here for almost 30 years, and for almost 6-7 years, I think he was giving the talks on Ramadan, during Ramadan.
Yes.
Okay, regarding the family values.
Correct.
And it was so interesting the way he spoke. You know, I'm sure anyone would have loved to, hear his words. He was so open-minded, and he would explain it in such a way that it was straight into the brain.
Yes, he simplified the information.
Yeah, he
correct.
simplified with examples.
Yes.
And oh my God, don't talk. I was so, and I forgot that he's no more, and I was waiting for Ramadan to come and hear his talk. But God, I don't know, he took him away, and I'm really sorry about that.
Well, alhamdulillah, we still have with us his wealth of knowledge and wisdom and tips. And inshallah, yes.
But honestly, I'm telling you, I just want to meet him at least once. Because I want to know how he, went personally with me.
Yes.
Because I had some problems, And then I thought, okay, Sheikh Khalfan was the only guy who could help me in this.
I understand that feeling, yes.
The way he spoke, oh my God, I was so, thrilled. And I didn't want to miss any of his lectures.
Alhamdulillah.
Thanks a lot, because I wish he was among us. But anyway, may God bless him. And
thank you.
Rest in peace.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Rym, I just want to share something at this moment. What Sheikh Khalfan has contributed to the society, to the members, humanity. I mean, it didn't matter who, where anyone was from. Last year, Ramadan, he had come back after treatment.
Yes.
He was weak and he was tired, but when I went and spoke to him that I'd like to do video interviews with him, you would not believe this person, by the time I reached, he would be straight there sitting, waiting for the topics, just to ask anything you want under the sky, and he was ready with the answers. And I just want to, for someone like Sam, if you'd like to see him and hear him talk, he's most welcome to see it on omanobserver.com. And these were the talks that I think will stay forever, because he shares, like he said, he shares stories. It's not just wisdom, but wisdom what people can digest and understand from all walks of life.
Yes, and he always broke it down to either points or tips that one can
and
do.
Life's experience.
Yes, yeah. And I think to reflect also what he mentioned is that many people did wish that they would have met Sheikh Khalfan. I can relate to that sentiment, and many of us felt, oh, who do we turn to now? So, but inshallah, we take him as an example and we live that in our lifestyle. I believe we have a call. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the show.
Yes, thank you for having me on this show.
Thank you. What's your name?
My name is Fahad Sayyid Ibrahim, and I'm a teenager.
MashaAllah. Welcome,
I'm
Fahad.
17
Ramadan
years old.
Mubarak.
I would just like to take a little bit time to pay tribute to this great man, Sheikh Khalfan Al Esry.
Yes, that would
and
be
he
an
has
honor.
had a great impact on my life. Exactly last Ramadan, I had attended a show of his in Azan bin Kai school. And the information or the knowledge that I gained from that show was absolutely cherishable. And I personally spoke to him. And
Lovely.
those few moments will ever be in my memory. And we all must follow what this great man has taught us. And we should do it with our heart, not just for the sake of pleasing others.
Sincerity, yes.
Yes, and we must all make use of this blessed month of Ramadan.
Alhamdulillah.
And we must thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He has given us one more year to live.
Yes.
And we must make full use of it. So
Alhamdulillah.
I would just like to thank him for whatever he has taught us. And may Allah protect him from the hellfire and grant him Jannah.
Thank you, Fahad. Now, Fahad, I'd like to ask you, what stood out the most for you when you attended Sheikh Khalfan's talk? What impacted you the most?
The impact was that the knowledge that I had before, I was not a very good practicing Muslim. But then once when I heard his lecture, I really took it really touched my heart. And I got to know that what he said is proper and we need to follow it. And meaning that he was such a simple man, and we all Muslims in this world run behind materialistic things. By looking at him, we must realize that we are in this world for a different purpose altogether. So we must work towards achieving that purpose.
Yes.
And once again, I'd like to pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He grants him Jannat and protects him from the fire of hell. Thank you.
Thank you, Fahd, very much, mashallah. You're full of wisdom and inshallah a role model for other teenagers.
Yes, sure. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Fahd. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
That's a beautiful example of someone attended his session and was inspired to actually practice and live the teachings and live the values.
It's the fulfillment of a life, isn't it? I'm feeling very good to hear people talk, and I think that's the whole objective of life. When he asked the question, "Who are you?" for many months, days, I used to still think, it's not your name, it's not your profession and everything, and this is who he was.
Yeah, and I challenge you, if you have all these episodes or Ramadan episodes, just talk about Sheikh Khalfan, it won't finish.
MashaAllah.
It won't finish.
Yeah. And I can't do justice either.
And we won't.
Yes, I apologize.
Well, alhamdulillah, we do what we can, and it's very important, as the caller, as Shaheen mentioned, to actually live that example. And what Sheikh Khalfan as well reminds us that he left a legacy, and he wanted each one of us to also live their legacy, and always wanted us to see us living our potential.
He respected the journey everyone was in. I remember him, people asking him questions about other religion or other faiths or other people, and he always said everyone has a journey. And we must respect that journey, and that's the best thing I've learned about him. That accepting, and that's tolerance. In other words, and I think there is a long way for all of us to go, but he's left that spark for us to take up. And entrepreneurship was a big thing for him. It was not always it was not always the seriousness about Sheikh Khalfan. He gave food for thought, but he also wanted us to go achieve everything in life. When we say materialism, it can have negative connotations, but he wasn't against success at all. He wanted people to be successful.
Exactly. Yes.
And so I think people understand it in the right sense and go let their dreams come true. And what I also liked about Sheikh Khalfan's teachings is the value of family. Giving time to your grandparents, to your parents, to your children, to the neighbors, to the friends and everybody. And he was a prime example. Whether it was his mother, his parents, or brother, or, I've seen them all and the connections they've had with him. And it was an amazing and blessed experience.
MashaAllah, truly a family man. And you mentioned the word success. He was an entrepreneur himself who aspired.
If I can share that, Rym, I remember him when I met him first. He was an engineer at PDO.
Correct, yes.
And he was also teaching or helping people with counseling, and is a scholar. And from then on, I could see this person sitting across, facing the microphone, change in dimensions. And one day he said, Lakshmi, no one said you have to limit yourself. It's for you to grow and expand, and he's going to move on. And I was like, are you sure? Don't people want to retire with comfort and everything? And he said, no, you have to go. If you feel it, you got to do it. And if you believe it, he did it. And always he talked about actions with emotions, and it's not just words, but you have to act upon it and work hard at
and
it.
Discipline.
And I asked him, are you there yet? And he said, yes, many years ago.
Oh.
So I think, yes, we all feel sad, but I think we should take it as a wonderful lesson in life. God gave us this opportunity to meet this person. Even if you didn't meet him personally, you heard about him, you read about him, and it's a great blessing to have, to be around somebody like that, and be happy.
Inspired by
Inspired, yes. He's had a wonderful life, and I think that's a happy story.
MashaAllah, alhamdulillah. And it also reminds me of the saying that every master was once a beginner. So Sheikh Khalfan had discipline. He worked hard to develop himself, to dream big, and that is also a journey for all of us to take.
Yes,
alhamdulillah.
But the good thing about him, that he was walking the talk.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
He didn't say things that he'd never done.
This is the best part of it.
Exactly.
He was talking from experience.
Yeah.
Yes.
And as you mentioned, he had this balance in life.
Yeah.
And where we're actually suffering, how do you balance between your family, your work, your other things?
Yeah.
But he had this balance. He was disciplined.
Yes. And he mentioned that discipline is not doing something when you feel like it or when you're in the mood or inspired, but it's about even when you don't feel like it, you take action.
The two toughest thing I think was the time management, which is he excelled, and the discipline.
Yes.
These two are great things to be inspired by, so I suppose.
Alhamdulillah. So, any final remarks, Ali, Lakshmi?
Well, all I can say is we miss our friend, the beloved
Alhamdulillah.
Sheikh Khalfan, and in his absence, we are called to remember the lesson he taught us and hope to explore the information on different topics and values that he left us with.
Thank you very much, Ali. Thank you. Lakshmi?
I always carried emotions. I didn't know when I met him the last time that's going to be the last time. But, when he was taking rest, I almost walked away. And then he said, no, make sure you tell me before you go. And that final goodbye, I didn't know it was a final one. And I have been very emotional about it. But today, sitting with you three and with our team in the Radio Sultanate of Oman and with the listeners, I feel very good knowing this wonderful human being who's been successful and, who gave it all to everybody, to his family and to the community.
Alhamdulillah. And the value that he delivered is continuing, and we're continuing to living it today. Thank you very much, Ali Al Farai. Thank you very much, Lakshmi, for coming as a surprise special guest today. We really appreciate having you with us. Alhamdulillah. As we said, there's much to say about Sheikh Khalfan. We remember his talks are available. The last episodes of Let's Connect are also available in the Facebook page, 321 Connect. That's number 3. Number 2, number 1, and the word connect, CONNECT. And to wrap up this show, we will be back with you the coming Sunday to start our journey this Ramadan in a series of values and from the teachings of the Prophet, peace be upon him, and from the Quran. We have much wisdom and knowledge, and it will be an open conversation for us to live and implement these values in our lives. So Allah yarham Sheikh Khalfan. We continue to remember him. Please remember him in your dua and your praise, and his family, and he truly embodied as well love for everyone. So from all of us here, this is your host Rym Aoudia with Ali Al Farai with me in the show, and Lakshmi Kotaneth, and the studio engineer working hard behind the scenes, Safiya Al Habsi. We send you much peace and love. Assalamu alaikum.
Radio Sultanate of Oman 90.4 FM is all set to bring you Let's Connect.
Let's connect.
A soul-searching program which is about a journey of self-discovery, hosted by Rym.
12 noon to 1 p.m. Sunday to Thursday.
Send your questions to 90406 or call us at 246-02058.
Let's connect here on the Nation Station.